The worst thing in an argument isn't losing, it's winning and realizing you spent an hour convincing someone who was never listening. Someone says something untrue. Your chest gets tight. You immediately want to respond. You pull out old messages, screenshots, everything. Not because the situation actually requires it, but because your mind screams, they need to know I'm right. This is where the Taoist teachings of Lao Tzu become vital. Lao Tzu wasn't teaching how to win more arguments. Lao Tzu and his Taoist philosophy ask a deeper question. Why do you need to win every argument in the first place? Taoist philosophy understands the human mind. As Lao Tzu realized, the moment you obsess over controlling another person's opinion, you've given them control over you. Imagine a friend texts, "whatever." You stare at the screen, you read it again. Your brain immediately builds a case. They're mad at me. 10 minutes later, you're reacting to a story created in your own head. This is exactly where Lao Tzu's Taoist philosophy changes your behavior. The Taoist approach taught by Lao Tzu is not reacting to every feeling instantly. Taoist wisdom asks you to create space between what happens and what you do next. In Lao Tzu's view, that space is where freedom lives. Imagine a student receiving a harsh comment from a professor. He felt embarrassed. His first thought, they don't understand how much work I put into this. He wanted to send an angry email immediately. Instead, he waited. When he read the comments again, he realized some criticism was actually useful. Emotion made him defend himself before he understood the criticism. That's what Lao Tzu calls yielding in Taoist thought. You don't immediately fight the situation, you allow space to understand it. Taoism doesn't mean becoming passive. Taoism and Lao Tzu tell you to stop wasting force. If disrespected, Taoist philosophy doesn't require you to tolerate it. You can walk away. You can set a boundary. You don't need to turn every boundary into a war or need the final word to protect your dignity. Lao Tzu repeatedly points toward a Taoist strength needing no display. Think about social media. Somebody posts an opinion you hate. You reply. They reply. Now strangers are arguing under a post nobody will remember next week. Why? To the ego, being wrong feels like losing status. Taoist philosophy challenges that instinct. Lao Tzu teaches us to become less attached to appearing superior. Through a Taoist lens, you can say, I might be wrong. You can say, I don't know. As Lao Tzu observed, this makes your mind harder to control. Consider being misunderstood by someone you care about. Maybe you explain why you were hurt. They don't understand. You give examples, you bring up the past, carefully choosing your words. Eventually, you're exhausted trying to force another human to see the world exactly as you see it. But Lao Tzu's philosophy reminds us control has limits. A core Taoist principle is this: you control what you say, but you cannot control what someone hears. You can explain your intention. You cannot control their interpretation. You can tell the truth. You cannot force someone to believe it. Taoism becomes powerful precisely at that point. Following Lao Tzu, you stop fighting what you cannot command. This Taoist wisdom applies far beyond arguments. Think about someone rejected from a job. They spend weeks thinking, why didn't they choose me? They replay the interview. Their mind keeps reopening a closed door. Lao Tzu would not tell them to stop caring about their future. Taoist philosophy would tell them to stop spending today's energy trying to rewrite yesterday. Learn what you can, improve what you can, then move. That's Taoist yielding, not giving up. As Lao Tzu intended, it means moving without carrying unnecessary resistance. Despite smartphones, we still want approval and the last word. Taoism offers a different strength. Taoist strength is knowing when not to act. Taoist strength is hearing criticism without defensiveness. Taoist strength is walking away from an argument without secretly needing the other person to chase you. Taoist strength is letting someone misunderstand you without spending all night correcting their opinion. Sometimes you are right, yet won't get the apology or the final word. Lao Tzu's philosophy asks you to accept that. According to Lao Tzu, if your peace requires another's admission, it isn't truly yours. So next time an argument begins, apply Taoist wisdom. Ask, does this deserve my energy? Before responding, ask, am I solving something or am I protecting my ego? Lao Tzu isn't telling you to become weak. Lao Tzu shows how to stop wasting strength. A Taoist knows fighting everything causes exhaustion. The person who understands when to yield, as Lao Tzu taught, keeps their energy for what matters. The most powerful Taoist act you can do isn't proving you're stronger than everyone. It's becoming so secure, you no longer need to prove it. That's the strength Lao Tzu pointed toward. Not the strength to dominate every room. The Taoist strength to leave a room without needing to have won.